Hi and Assalamualaikum, I BINTI Madam and my fellow friends. Today we will be presenting about National Education Policy, but before we proceed, let me introduce to you our presenter. So the presenter are ALIF BAZLI bin FIKRY, the second one are IQBAL DANIAL ANEEQ bin RAMLAN, the third one are ELLY NORMAZIRA binti RAZALI, the fourth one are NAJWA binti ROSLI, and lastly SYAZANA binti ARIFFIN.
Education is widely recognized as one of the most fundamental pillars of human development and societal progress. Its importance rises above individual benefits, extending to the broader country of economic growth, social unity, and cultural enrichment. Since gaining independence in 1957, the Federation of Malaya, now Malaysia, has implemented education policies to increase access, unify, and ethnically diverse population through a common curriculum and language, help those in need catch up through affirmative action, and build a human capital as the country strives to become an advanced country in the face of globalization. A national education policy is a comprehensive framework established by a government to guide the development and implementation of education-related strategies, goals and reform within a country. The Malaysia Education Blueprint 2013 to 2025 was launched by Datuk Seri Najib Razak, the Prime Minister of Malaysia, on 11 September 2012. The blueprint focuses on 6 student attributes, which are knowledge, thinking skills, leadership, bilingual proficiency, ethnic and national identity.
The first policy program arises from the significant disparities in education that existed during the time of independence. During the post-colonial era, the education situation in Malaysia was quite concerning. A significant portion of the population, more than half, did not have the opportunity to receive a formal education. Shockingly, only a mere 6% of Malaysian children had access to secondary level education, and an even smaller 1% had the chance to pursue post-secondary education. The stark disparity in educational opportunities has brought to light the pressing need for extensive reform that guarantee fair access to education for every Malaysian, regardless of their socio-economic status or where they live. The second policy problem revolved around the standardization of the curriculum for primary and secondary school, with a focus on making both Malay and English mandatory subjects. This initiative highlights the main objective of promoting unity among the nation's diverse population, as expressed by Muhammad Zaini in 2014, who emphasized the crucial significance of a national education system where the Malay language was the main medium of instruction. This directive sought to promote not just language skill, but also a shared national identity and unity among Malaysian diverse society. The third policy problem revolved around the implementation of preferential policy that seek to address the historical disadvantage faced by Malay. According to Muhammad Zaini 2014, the focus of this policy was not to establish ethnic dominance or supremacy, but rather to address historical inequalities and uplift marginalized communities. This aspect of the policy was a source of intense debate, as it required carefully addressing historical injustice while also striving for equal opportunities among different ethnic groups. In the past, there has been significant socio-economic disparities experienced by certain communities in Malaysia. Thus, the policy sought to address these inequalities by offering specific assistance and opportunity for Malay students. With a focus on promoting the socio-economic progress of a specific group, the policy aimed to create a more fair and inclusive society in Malaysia. Lastly, it was about the continuation of different language streams in addition to schools that teach in Malay and English. Before independence, the educational structure was seen as a product of colonial tactics that aimed to divide and control communities based on language. However, after gaining independence, the preservation of these language streams was seen as necessary to meet the varied linguistic and cultural needs of Malaysian a multi-ethnic population. The historical impact of colonialism requires a careful approach in Malaysia to promote national unity while also honouring the linguistic and cultural diversity of the population. Objective of National Educational Policy. Firstly is understand the current performance and challenges of the Malaysian educational system. Secondly, establishing a clear visions and aspirations for individual students and the educational system as a whole over the next 13 years. The policy outlined a vision for individual students and the educational system as a whole. Third is outlining a comprehensive transformation program for the system. The policy outlined a comprehensive transformation program within the Ministry of Education. It includes key change and initiatives aimed at enhancing access, quality, equity, and unity in education. Strategy of National Educational Policy. Strategy given is based and related on the three main objectives that explained before. Strategy for the first objective is the Ministry of Education conducted an extensive review, employed education experts, principals, teachers, parents, students, and the public for every state in Malaysia. The Malaysia Education Blueprint evaluate the performance of the existing education system considering historical context and international benchmark. Almost 90% of 50 years old Malaysian students who participate in the program for International Student Assessment (PISA) fail to meet the minimum requirement proficiency level in mathematics. Example implementation plan is raising teaching standard through tailored on-the-ground teacher coaching, especially in the core subjects such as Bahasa Malaysia, English language, mathematics and science, and revamping examination questions to include greater focus on higher order thinking skill. Strategy for the second objective is the blueprint offers a vision for the education system, one that Malaysia both needs and deserves. It emphasizes holistic development, equipping students with essential knowledge, skill, and the competency for the 21st century. To achieve the vision, the policy suggests 11 strategic and operational shifts. First shift, provide equal access to quality education of an international standard. Second shift, ensure every child is proficient in Bahasa Malaysia, English language, and is encouraged to learn an additional language. Third shift, develop value-driven Malaysians. Fourth shift, transform teaching into the professions of choice. Fifth shift, ensure high performance school leader in every school. Sixth shift, empower JPNs, PPD and the school to customize solution based on the needs. Seventh shift, leverage ICT to scale up quality learning across Malaysia. Eighth shift, transform ministry delivery capability and capacity. Ninth shift, partner with the parents, community and private sector at scale. 10th shift, maximize students' outcome for every ringgit. Last but not least is increased transparency for direct public accountability. Strategy for the third objective is the comprehensive transformation aims to enhance access to education, rising quality standards, close achievement gap and foster unity among students. By optimizing system efficiency, Malaysia seeks to create a brighter future for citizens and build a shared national identity. There are several strategies that have been set up in this policy, which is scaling up innovations and options to continuously raise Bahasa Malaysia and English language proficiency and providing more choices of additional language. Not only that, obtaining international accreditations and enhancing curriculum for the matriculation program to better equip students for university.
So, I will continue the presentation about the strength in national education policy. The first strength is inclusive education. The NEP's inclusive education aim to remove barriers and ensure every student, regardless of background or circumstances, has equal access to quality education through targeted support and resource allocation. The strategies are implemented to assist underprivileged students and marginalized communities, such as providing additional resources and support staff in economically disadvantaged areas. The NEP also promotes inclusive learning environments that celebrate diversity and accommodate the unique needs of every learner, fostering social cohesion and equity. So, the second strength is clear vision for educational excellence. The NEP outlined goals to enhance curriculum quality, teacher professional development, and robust assessment mechanism to elevate learning standard and promote innovation. Moreover, the vision encompasses fostering holistic growth among students, enabling them to reach their full potential and contribute meaningfully to society. The NEP also provides a clear roadmap for comprehensive improvement and driving continuous advancement in the education system and cultivating a culture of excellence. So, the third strength is emphasized on quality education. The NEP enhancing teaching learning to invest in teacher training program to improve pedagogical skills and create engaging learning environments. By aligning educational content with global standards and incorporating real-world application, it helps students being more relevant and help in practical learning. Additionally, the NEP implementing competency-based assessment and project-based evaluation for a comprehensive understanding of a student learning outcomes. The last strength is emphasized on bilingual proficiency. The implementation program is to foster fluency, comprehension, and effective communication in both Malay and English language. So, by advocating for bilingual instruction across various subjects may help to provide ample opportunities for language mastery. Lastly, the emphasizing language immersion activities such as camps, exchange program, and cultural initiative may help to deepen understanding and appreciation of both language and cultures.
Next is weakness. Like many other education systems worldwide, Malaysia's education system is crucial in determining the future of the country, since it gives people the information and abilities they need to prosper in a world that is changing quickly. However, the Malaysian education policy faces a number of weaknesses that limits its efficacy and inclusion despite tremendous effort to enhance access and quality. The first weakness is lack of accessibility. Despite progress toward universal education, gaps exist, especially in rural and marginalized regions, where insufficient infrastructure and financial constraints prevent access to excellent education. Sabah and Sarawak exemplifies Malaysia's lack of accessibility to education. Many schools there lack basic utilities like power, clean water, and working classroom. Students may have to walk long distance or use insufficient transit to go to school, resulting in high dropout rate. Secondly, teacher shortages or quality. A lack of skilled teachers in rural schools reduces the quality of education provided to pupils in these communities. Quality educators are critical in the development and implementation of good educational programs because they serve as the foundation for successful learning outcome. Teachers not only convey information, but they also inspire, encourage, and lead students throughout their educational careers. An example of unqualified teachers can be seen through cases of when a group of 3 female students sue their teachers for being absent for 7 months. Such incidents highlight the significance of solid procedures for checking teachers' qualification and ensuring that only suitably qualified individuals are entrusted with the task of educating Malaysia's youth. Third is lack of flexibility. Inflexible educational system hinder individualized learning, discourage creativity, and are unable to meet the demand and style of a wide range of students. The centralized control over curriculum material and assessment technique is one practical example of Malaysian education policies' lack of flexibility. This uniform approach limits the ability of different schools and instructors to tailor instructional technique and resources to their students' different needs and interests. Moreover, students get disinterested and perform below expectation when curriculum, assessment procedures, and teaching strategies are rigid and fail to take into account each student's unique skills, interests, and learning style. Lastly, resistance to change. It is frequently driven by established norms, bureaucratic inertia, fear of the unknown, and concern about potential disruption. The implementation of the Dual Language Program (DLP) in Malaysia in 2016 is an example of resistance to policy changes in education. By teaching several topics in both English and Malay, the DLP sought to improve student English language ability. However, there was strong resistance to the program from a number of sources, including political organizations, parents, and teachers' union. The Malay language, which has particular significance as the national language and a symbol of Malaysian identity, would lose some of its meaning if the DLP were implemented, according to critics.
The first recommendation to overcome lack of accessibility is targeted infrastructure improvement projects must be implemented, particularly in rural and marginalized regions such as Sabah and Sarawak. School facilities in these locations sometimes lack electricity, clean water, and well-maintained classrooms. Thus, to meet students' and educator needs, infrastructure improvements and new facilities must be prioritized, making school more contemporary, safe, and inclusive for all students, regardless of ability, is crucial. To ensure that far-away students can reach their school without severe logistical issue, reliable and effective transportation is needed. So the second recommendation to overcome teacher shortage or quality is to offer online and hybrid programs that provide flexible learning opportunities for individuals interested in pursuing a career in teaching, particularly those in rural areas. So these programs offer top-notch training modules, virtual classroom, and teaching experience online, benefiting those with time constraints. Implement mentorship, SIMs, incentives for experienced educators, and strong teacher evaluation standards to ensure high-quality instruction and learning outcomes for all students. The third recommendation to overcome lack of flexibility is to create a well-organized and consistent review system. This process should include community members, students, educators, policymakers, and socio-economic trend specialists. Policymakers can learn about policies' practical effects and efficacy by soliciting feedback from a wide group, including mechanisms for constant conversation and cooperation can also foster an active and adaptable policy-making approach. This means constantly reviewing the policy to ensure it fits current needs, identifying areas for improvement, and actively seeking stakeholder input for prospective revisions. Lastly, to overcome resistance of a change is to implement a comprehensive change management strategy. Successful change communication must emphasize the benefits for all parties, involving administrators, staff and students in decision making, and asking their feedback can help them own and support the proposed change. Training and assistance can reduce resistance and make the transition simpler to new methods and technologies. In conclusion, the Malaysian National Education Policy is dedicated to enhancing access, quality and inclusivity through continuous improvements and targeted interventions for marginalized groups. It prioritizes partnerships between educational institutions and industry to connect education with real-world skills, aiming for long-term benefits like improved workforce readiness and reduced disparities. This forward-looking approach makes education more equitable, relevant and responsive to the needs of all stakeholders.